Welcome to the fourth event of the North American Auto Club Challenge Series season, the e400 by Innovations at the New York Autoring in Albany, New York. This is the first leg of the Fay Legacy Cup. These are 4 distinct double points events that showcase the best the Challenge Series has to offer in 4 distinct track types. The driver with the best average finish across these 4 races will earn a 100-point bonus for the championship, and then each race winner also earns 25 bonus points in these 4 races, provided they start all of them. Aside from the double points that everybody gets as long as they start. This is the first super speedway race of the season, the first true test for these composite bodies in these bigger tracks. Depending on how it goes, it might even showcase a different schedule for next year if it works well. This is a very interesting factor that we have to put into consideration. In more unfortunate news, the state fairgrounds in Minnesota have been damaged far too much to allow holding the dual pair transmissions 150 in a few weeks' time. So the race will be moved still within the metropolitan area, but across the river to the bull ring at the Twin Cities in Minneapolis. It is a very interesting track, should be a very fun race, but it's unfortunate we could not proceed with the scheduled event at the state fairgrounds. But before we take too long with the pre-race news, let's take a look at the starting lineup for this race. Taking the pole position is Lee Schmidt in the number 43, with Mac Henley starting right on his outside. A fantastic effort for both of those drivers that did not have a very good start to the season, Henley especially, but a pole position and a front row start can be just enough to make that change on your season efforts. Lexi Percy, a surprising result in row number 2, starting in 3rd. Connie Brooks, not a surprise, in 4th. Joey Torkson, defending champion of the 3 years Try Hard 500, and Kelly Ashcroft, defending series champion and former Try Hard 500 winner. Should be a very hard-hitting super speedway row. These two are ones to look for definitely. Row number 4, British Tony Hart is a rookie. Kirk Jones, Canadian, is a former champion. Row number 5, Charlie Faulkner, a rookie under extensive air quotes, and Brett Finley, a sophomore, was better they both were better in practice but did not close out in qualifying. Row number 6, Finley's teammate Bobby Savage and Corbin Dempsey for Shield Motorsports bring out row 6, Andrew Atwood. On row 7, Ashley Richardson on row 7 on the outside as well. Robert Burton, former champion Ruby Carson, starts in row 8 together with him. The Pellerin siblings start 17th and 18th. Rebecca on the inside, Luke on the outside. Lucy Barton had a very good qualifying effort but did not do well compared to others. The championship leader lines up together with Lucas Calhoun. Boyd Abbott and Kip Lemon start in row 11, 2 rookies. Abbott has been way better than Lemon. This is his best qualifying result so far. Riley McKee, Peter Johnson, row 12. Blake Chandler, not a very good effort in row 13 with Kristen Young. Ibeke Murata, not so good together with Craig Butler. Jamal Schmidt and Thomas Tucker did not do well at all in row 15. Adam Patterson punched a little bit above his weight in row 16, but not too much. AJ Murphy had problems in qualifying, but was still able to get the 32nd place. Alexis Wyman and Jimmy Frazier on row 17. Frazier, a big surprise qualifying at all. Ollie Sandil Nolan, showing S2 Motorsports is a unit and has put all of their cars in this race, with Rafaela Molina on his outside. Megan McDonald, Creeper Stevenson bring out row 19. Kira Downer in 39th, and Caitlin Richler, the winner at Lakeland. Not a good qualifying effort at all, starting in last. The 4 drivers that failed to qualify for this race are Ronald Samples, David Lamar, Dan Wright, and Ryan Faulkner. Big surprises in the case of Faulkner and Samples. Faulkner, leading the Rookie of the Year battle, could fall off that lead tonight because of this. Samples, just a very unfortunate result. Dan Wright just had a lot of problems, and David Lamar is just not a surprise at all to see in this list. Just did not have a good start for this season. In the meantime, track conditions couldn't be better. Very cool air temperature, very good track temperature. Winds haven't been so strong. Very good breeze is blowing by, and we have no chance of rain at all. This race is going to be 248 miles, 110 laps, 400 kilometers. 40 cars are starting, as will be the case with most of these Fay Legacy Cup events. The pit window is going to be very short, 18 to 22 laps. We're going to have at least 5 pit stops. The New York Autoring is 2.25 miles. It's the smallest of the big super speedways in America, but it's very high banked, so it's still extremely fast. Should give an extremely interesting race. Let's go trackside for the start. As you see, the pace truck leading the pack. It's very slow speed. When it pulls out, it's gonna go green. The field will be under control of Lee Schmidt, and the race is on here in the New York Autoring. He has a good start, but Mac Henley has a little bit of an edge on him, and Mac Henley has a pretty good start. Let's see if he maintains it. Lexi Percy giving a push to Lee Schmidt in these early goings on. And as you can see now, Schmidt has pulled ahead of McHenley at the middle of the first corner, exit off 2. But now Lexi Percy has the clear line in front of her. She has a push from Joy Torkson, Tony Hart, Charlie Faulkner, Corbin Dempsey, and Bobby Savage. And there goes Lexi Percy, Joy Torkson, and Tony Hart. And then you see the pack's already starting to spread out. These cars are very different aerodynamically from the previous ones. They're boxier. They're more like throwing a big brick in the middle of the air. So it's going to be very fun to watch these guys plot around the track, as Joey Torkson, the Try Hard 500 winner last year, ran the Cleveland Grand Prix at the PC Cup Series, had a fantastic showing. And it's going to be the case again with the Try Hard 500 winner this year, running the Cleveland Grand Prix as well. And Corbin Dempsey having a fantastic showing. As you see, the pack's going to shuffle a lot, especially in this early goings on, but just because of the super speedway, just because of how fast you get in comparison to the guy at the point, at the car at the point of the line, you're just going to see a lot of shifting. One example of that, 4 laps in, McHenley has already dropped to 28th place just because he was not on the best line. He just did not have a draft partner, lost that draft, and has fallen like a brick. Lexi Percy running fairly well in the lead, with Charlie Faulkner following her, and Joy Torkson third in line as we reach lap number 7 in these early goings on. So this early section of the race, until the first pit cycle, we should be seeing a lot of shifting. And we should be seeing a lot of shifting overall as you go together with Ashley Richardson. You can see how the driver on the outside just drops like a stone and falls behind, and there's nothing they can do just because they're on the worst line possible to be. It's just so easy to lose a lot of time. As you see Lucy Martin making an effort for the lead. I did say she was going to rush forward during the starting lineup, and there she is. The championship leader is trying to gain a lot in this double points race, because if she opens a big gap, then even if the Fay Legacy Cup winner is right behind her, she can just rush away and lock this one early. And a good result today would do wonders for that. In the meantime, look at Adam Patterson having a fantastic run up there in 12th place, climbing together with the field. Rebecca Pellerin climbing ever so slowly. Right behind her, a couple of cars back, her brother Luke. Luke's actually doing essentially double duty. He's running the PC Truck Series and the North American Auto Club Challenge Series. He's running both full seasons. There goes Corbin Dempsey for the lead on a 3-wide move. A lot of daring do early on. This guy has a lot on him. And you see Kirk Jones in second place, former champion, now making a move on him, showing that the veterans know best. Rebecca Pellerin right behind him as well. Blake Chandler right third on that line. Blake Chandler trying to gain the lead in the Rookie of the Year standing. He simply has a lot hinging on the fact that Ryan Faulkner is not starting this race, so any gain is going to be fantastic for him. First pit cycle, lap 19. Leading the first line is Lucy Martin, Joey Torkson, Caitlin Richler, Luke Pellerin. All together, you see the whole pack flooding in. Corbin Dempsey, Kelly Ashcroft, pole position Lee Schmidt, Brett Finley, Kira Downer, Robert Burton, just a lot of people pitting in. As Kirk Jones continues on track with Blake Chandler and Boyd Abbott, but Boyd Abbott commits, Jones commits, Chandler sees him commit and commits as well. Just we did not have anyone taking any chances. There's no reason to do that so early. This is the first pit cycle. There's a lot hinging on this. As you see, Thorkson, he leads this first group of drivers out of the pits. It's going to be very interesting to see how they merge on track. As Kirk Jones coming out, Thorkson, Rickler, and Barton right there. Kirk Jones and Chandler come out right in the front of the pack. It's just a matter of catching them back up, and they're pretty close. There won't be a need to do that. They're just going to need to draft them back in. And as you see how the field passes through, everyone merging back pretty safely. There's contact there, Rafael Molina into Lucas Calhoun. Contact, big crash. Calhoun's upside down. Big crash, you can see there, the 59 upside down. First caution, and it's a big crash. Callie Ashcroft is involved. Brett Finley is involved. Let's go on board with Callie Ashcroft. She just stood no chance. You see this contact, you see the radio communications. The 95 just turned the 59 in front of the field, and Callie Ashcroft hit the passenger side of Lucas Calhoun. She just stood no. Look at that. There's just no excuse. Look at Ashley Richardson. Ollie Sandale Nolan also involved. A lot of damage on the 38. This is just unfortunate. You see the 95 merging in front of the field. Brett Finley just could not change his line on time. Ended up hitting her square in the rear. And this was just... I'll refrain from saying words because this is just idiotic. You can see by the reaction on Brett Finley, no one understood that, and I think Lucas Calhoun is the one that understood less. You see Ashley Richardson passing through that crash marvelously. It's a surprise she was able to avoid that as well as she did, given her teammate was also involved. For 1 second, almost both of Dwight Johnson's cars would be eliminated. As you see the pit cycle, Joey Thorkson chooses to pit again just to like top the fuel. A few drivers also see this as valuable. And then you're gonna see in the radio communications there was a collision back there on Thomas Tucker, and Thomas Tucker now has damage. We were unable to get footage of that for you, but bear in mind he has damage. I see a lot of drivers did not pit. The top 5, as a matter of fact, did not pit. The green flag is back out. Caitlin Richler, Blake Chandler, Rebecca Pellerin, Riley McKee, and Connie Brooks are leading the pack. This is going to be very interesting because now the clock resets for Joey Thorkson on down on the running orders. If this stays green for a long time, it's gonna change the dynamics quite a bit because you're gonna have a... Whoa! Rebecca Pellerin gave a tap to Caitlin Richler. That could have ended way worse than it did. Both kept it under control, both kept it tight. And here he goes, Caitlin Richler to the outside, working the pack, goes back down, blocks. Rebecca Pellerin doesn't let her get an opening, but Pellerin forces it through, gets the move done. Out of turn number 4, there's contact back there. Tony Hart, AJ Murphy, big contact. Caution again in front of the field. Rebecca Pellerin beats Caitlin Richler to the line, but the yellow flag is out. AJ Murphy into the back of Tony Hart. And in front of Adam Patterson, Charlie Faulkner. And this was way smaller than it had any right to be. And as you see the replay, let's see from Lucas Calhoun his reaction. And it's just unfortunate, and you can see by his reaction that he's not very happy, but there's just no need to like cast the field down. It just sucks for him, and because of the way this caution was, everybody just decides to pit together now. Let's just not risk another caution happening again and a gamble going wrong. And as you're gonna see, McHenley on the pits, takes fuel only, comes in from the rear of the pack, takes the lead. Fantastic move by McHenley. Caitlin Richler did the same. It's gonna restart in second, and see Blake Chandler, Lucy Barton, Kirk Jones. A lot of the field, the running order shifts because some drivers decided to pit for tires. You're gonna have to pit for tires only once in this race. So this is going to be very interesting. At least we predict there's only going to be one tire stop. Some people might have to try a second one, but we don't expect this to be the case. McHenley is going to lead the pack to the green. and the pace truck pulls out, and here we go. And Haley just did not have a fantastic start at all. Caitlin Richler takes the point and takes the lead before the finish line. But Connie Brooks is right there with her teammate. They're both hooked up, and they might give a challenge for Caitlin Richler on this restart. Megan McDonald right there leading the outside lane, but the outside lane just has not had a very good time. Mac Henley trying to close out that line. Connie Brooks is just a little bit too fast, so she's gonna go through. And problems for Robert Burton. His race goes badly from 26th place, and he's done for the night. And as you see the damage on the rear end of Thomas Tucker's car, it's not affecting him at all. You could argue he's better with the damage than he was before it, as he's making an effort to enter the top 10. And he is right there in the 11th, in the 7th spot. Actually, the position just updated now. He's in the battle. He's in the middle of the tussle. This is going to be a very interesting dynamic as we check from now on. As problems for Kristen Young. She ran over a piece of debris that I guess was not properly cleaned, and she's going to have to pit, change those tires, and very sad. She was running in 21st place, punching well above her weight on that car. Luke Bellerin making an effort for the lead under Caitlin Richler. He's about to take the position, is he? They're side by side. Kirk Jones is right there. Joey Thorson pushing Kirk Jones, and you see Corbin Dempsey and Connie Brooks together on that line. Megan McDonald joins that line, and here goes Luke Bellerin and Kirk Jones. So 2 Canadians, first and second. As the field continues to shuffle, they caught Kristen Young, as you see Thomas Tucker there in 3rd place, working his way forward. And you can see again how the outside affects the pack as we enter lap number 35 of 110. And it's just so unfortunate that Kristen Young had to be screwed over by this. Lucy Barton moving all over, trying to impede Caitlin Richler to gain position, trying to hold off Joey Thorson. She has to take as much draft as she can to keep up ahead, as Bellerin, Dempsey, and Tucker are 1, 2, 3. And you see how the field shuffles. So now by lap 44, Barton is the leader, but Thorson makes an effort, and Thorson for the lead. Problems for Corbin Dempsey. The car just turned off. He wasn't even able to refire it. He's trying to refire it, but he's unable. And Corbin Dempsey is gonna be done for the night. 44 laps in, after making a fantastic effort. He was 4th place at that time, and he's done. And it's just gut-wrenching for Shield Motorsports. Their hopes now hinge on Ruby Carson. They're gonna have to make a strategic Hail Mary to put her up there. As Riley McKee now in 3rd place, Thomas Tucker running 2nd, Joy Thorson up there as well. It's a big battle. You can see how everyone is all over each other, how positions just shift on a whim, just because of how this package is now. The outside line, you need a lot of people to make that outside line work. You need a lot of people to make that inside line work. You can see that you don't need to be very close to keep up with the draft. Lucy Barton, Kirk Jones, Riley McKee, the first takers for the new pit cycle on lap 46. Ruby Carson and Caitlin Richler also there on the background. Don't know if you were able to see them on lap 47. It's time for Rebecca Murata, who has been working her way forward consistently, and Connie Brooks to lead the second group of drivers. And on lap 48, you can see Joy Thorson and Rebecca Bellerin still on track, hanging on. They're stretching the fuel run, because if you stretch it, you might end up having to do one less pit stop. And coming in on lap 48 is Rebecca Bellerin, Megan McDonald, Thomas Tucker, Joey Thorson. They're all in. This might work out in the long run. Ashley Richardson back there in as well. And as they're leaving the pit road, check Joey Thorson, the 0 car, coming out of the final corner, coming out of the second turn, merging back on track. The pack is way behind him, so not only the overcut works, they're in front of the field still. This might work on the later fuel runs, but Joey Thorson now is your new leader. Becky Murata having a fantastic run in second place. The third place there is Rebecca Pellerin. Murata just having a fantastic run in these ovals. We expected her to be way better on the road course, but she's showing the adaptation on the ovals has been very good with her. Some drivers do not adapt as well, but she's having a fantastic showing early on in this season. Let's see if she keeps up her form as we reach lap number 50. Makes a dive for the inside. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? It does. She has a draft from Kirk Jones, and there she goes by. The number 0, Joy Torkson, decides to drop a little bit behind, use the draft, make the fuel run a little bit longer, because when you're at the point, like it's what's happening to Thomas Tucker and Peter Johnson, when you're at the point of a pack of these multiple groups, you can spend more fuel. As you see, the third group is led by Ruby Carson, has a lot of cars, so it's a matter of time they catch Thomas Tucker as Luke Peller and Caitlin Richler, Blake Chandler, Jamal Schmidt, Ashley Richardson are all in this group. I think AJ Murphy's there as well. They're gonna work their way forward as Joy Turkson now about to lap Mega McDonald. McDonald just did not have a very good run. The car just is not up to snuff compared to her teammates Schmidt and Schmidt. But Lee Schmidt also dropping behind in 30th place right now. He had a fantastic qualifying effort, but I don't think this panned out for the rest of the race. Some people in the pit road were even arguing that he may have been with a cylinder down, but if he was with a cylinder down, he'd actually been much slower. He's still in race speed, just lost the draft, which is a very tough break for him. It doesn't look like he will catch soon. As we're already on lap 60, we already had another cycle go under green as Lucy Barton, Connie Brooks, Kirk Jones, and now Ruby Carson catching the pack, and they're all over each other. As I said that those packs were going to catch, Luke Pellerin now's up there as well. So the Pellerin siblings are together with each other. This might work in their favor. Engine up on the number 30, AJ Murphy. Done for the afternoon, no caution. He stays on the outside, waits for the lines to clear, drops to the apron, smoke pouring out of the number 30, and it's a tough break for AJ Murphy. It's just a tough break for Zach Tack. Coming to lap 67, entering laps on lap 66, coming to lap 67, Ruby Carson leads the first group of cars to pit. So Riley McKee, Caitlin Richard, both HQS cars, Lucy Barton pit. Following lap, time for Rebecca Murata, Blake Chandler, and Caitlin Richard to pit. And then you're gonna see as lap 68 approaches, the Pellerin siblings, 88, 27, 0 is up there as well, 58 is up there as well. And as you see the radio communications in the number 0, they're gonna hook up together, and there they go. The 58 and the 0 are on track. They're gonna pit one lap later, and there goes the Pellerin siblings, Lee Schmidt pitting as well, right about as he was gonna get lapped. So this might clear the lines for those two. So the Ernest Lewis and Luke Star teams working together. As you see, just like radio communications mentioned, they are gonna shift the lines. They're gonna shift the lead in the group, and pitting on lap 69, Thomas Tucker back there as well. But Joy Torkson and Ashley Richardson lead this final group of cars pitting, stretching their fuel run. Adam Patterson, another car with smoke pouring out, done for the night. He was having a better run, but just not a very good one. He dropped behind compared to earlier. As you see the field merging, it does not work as well. The pack just passes them by. They rejoin with the pack, but they lose a lot of time. Ashley Richardson loses even more, but Joy Torkson merges right in the middle of that group, so he doesn't lose the draft, but Ashley Richardson did lose the draft. This is gonna be very interesting, because if their strategy works, they might have to pit only one more time, and everyone else might have to stretch it. As Craig Butler about to be lapped, not making matters very easy for everyone else. He's just not giving them a very easy time, as Caitlin Richler currently leads this pack. She's drafting with him because she knows she's gonna have to stretch this current run to make sure she doesn't have to stretch on the finish when it's gonna matter most. Because by my calculations right now, as you go together with Blake Chandler as they work their way by the 35, they're gonna have to pit around lap 88, and then they may not have enough fuel to go to the finish if they pit on 88. The fuel run is 18 to 22 laps. Depending on how much you spend it, you're not gonna be able to pit. You're not gonna be able to get to the finish. Thorson works his way forward, and now it's Lucy Martin, Joey Thorson, Kirk Jones, 1, 2, 3 on lap 76. We're approaching the final run, 35 laps to go. As you see by lap 78, you see there's a big pack with Thorson at the point, and they're pretty much all together. Richardson was able to join the second group because these lead groups are a little bit separate. Tony Hart leads a third pack back there. And then you see Boyd Abbott by his lonesome with, I think, Jamal Schmidt. They're just dropping far behind. This lead group of 6-7 cars is very tightly knit. Despite, you can see they have a very good distance, but that distance has worked in their favor in drafting. Sometimes they're gonna hook up with 2 cars only and work their way forward. On lap 86, starts the pit cycle. And Ruby Carson, Lucy Barton, Kirk Jones, Caitlin Richard, Riley McKee, and this is way too early. This is way too early. Still early. Hibiki Murata and Blake Chandler, if they pit now, they do not have enough to finish. They do not have enough to finish because we're now with 23 laps to go. Luke Pellerin hanging on with Rebecca and Joy Thorson. As you see the rest of the pack leaving, they get lapped. This track is not long enough that they could stay on the lead lap. They get lapped. They're now 1 lap down. And I think the Pellerin siblings are gonna pit. Are they? Rebecca does. Luke doesn't. And Pellerin pitting way too early. She's gonna have to stretch it a little bit. As you hear Joy Thorson. It's radio communications. They make the call. They pit now with 21 laps to go. This 22 laps to go. And Ashley Richardson still out there with 21 to go. Pellerin, Thorson, and Richardson might be able to finish. They're stretching it very thinly. Richardson might be able to finish if she pits now, and she does. Lap 90, coming to 20 laps to go. And Richardson stays 1 lap more than everyone else. She stretched as much as she could. She's in. Let's see when she merges. The lead packs through. Ruby Carson leads the group, and out is Richardson. She lost the lead group. Joins the second pack with McKee, Johnson, and Atwood. This is not good if more people are able to stretch it. And as I mentioned, only 2 other people are. Thorson and Pellerin. They might be able to get to the finish on this tank. But Ruby Carson, Rebecca Pellerin are on a battle against the clock. They need a caution. They need something to happen so that they can pit and have enough fuel to finish, as we're now under 15 laps to go. Ashley Richardson in the second group in 11th place. Depending on how the chips fall. Riley McKee blows up. He was drafting Richardson. The car's out. Riley McKee's done. He dives to the apron, and he is not gonna finish this race. He was running in 12th place, having a solid run, and he's done. Luke Pellerin, 14 laps to go, cycles into the lead, and this might not be so good. As I mentioned earlier, the lead car might spend a little bit more fuel. He needs to make sure he has at least a solid draft partner on him to make sure he doesn't spend too much. He leads the pack for 3 laps as we enter the final 10 laps of this race. And you see the pack spread out very widely. And you see Richardson. Look at so far away she is from Luke Pellerin. Those 2 seemingly could finish on this tank. As you see, lap 104, it's Pellerin, Jones, Thorson. This is your fight for the lead. And there they go as Kirk Jones working his way forward as the field coming to lap. Bobby Savage and Charlie Faulkner both not having the best of runs so far. They just dropped behind. And Kirk Jones into the pits. 5 laps to go. We're hearing the radio communications. Lucy Barton in, Kirk Jones in, Ruby Carson in. I said it was too early. It was too early with 5 laps to go. The 98, the 32, the 77 are in. Caitlin Richler's in from 9th place as well. Lap 107. There goes Blake Chandler and Hibiki Murata. And as you hear the radio communications from the 32, it was not the best strategy call. Luke Pellerin and Joey Torgson, lap 108, 3 laps to go. They just need to hang out for a little bit longer now. They just need to hold it for just a little while longer. And they are gonna be on the money. Coming to 2 laps to go. Those two are hooked up together. Back there, Ashley Richardson's 3rd place. Pellerin pitting. That's why Richardson's 3rd place. Pellerin was unable to stretch it as far as she could. Richardson coming to 2 laps to go is gonna take that 3rd position when she hits the line. And this may have worked on her favor. Torgson and Pellerin cannot hang on to the finish. Lucy Barton up in smoke after pitting from 13th place. And this changes everything on the championship. Your championship leader is out. As Luke Pellerin and Joy Torgson hanging on, coming to the white flag. Pellerin in. Pellerin does not have enough fuel to finish. Joey Torgson's the leader. White flag is in the air. He just needs to hang on for around 44 seconds. And he is gonna be the winner. He has won the Try Hard 500 last year in a very different package, and this time around in a race that only had 2 cautions very early on that changed the whole dynamic of the fuel strategy. He has made it work, and he is now in the lead of the race. Thomas Tucker is running in 10th place, but he's 1 lap down, coming out of turn number 3 to keep a super speedway streak alive, not pitting, not going to the pits. He has enough to finish, and Joey Torgson is gonna stretch it all the way to a win. It could not have worked better for Joey Torgson. Ashley Richardson takes a 2nd place. Both stretched it until they couldn't. Megan McDonald also stretched it, but we weren't looking at her because she was so far behind. We didn't realize she was stretching that much until she finished in 3rd place. A fantastic result for the British woman. She steals a podium. Luke Pellerin and Rebecca Pellerin, the siblings, started on the same row, finished 4th and 5th. Kirk Jones, 6th place in the 32. Just the strategy did not work for him. Blake Chandler and Becky Murata at all. Thomas Tucker with that rear end damage still finishes 10th place, but a lap down. Also a lap down, Caitlin Richler, 11th place, bounces back from 2 retirements in the last 2 races. Let's hope that she can keep this alive. Jamal Schmidt, 12th place. Connie Brooks started in 4th, dropped all the way to 13th, just did not have a fantastic race. Boyd Abbott started in 11th, but was unable to make it work better, finishes in 14th. Creeper Stevenson worked his way forward to 15th. Lexi Percy, Peter Johnson, Mac Henley dropped all the way to 18th. Andrew Atwood and Tony Hart closed the top 20. Pole position, Lee Schmidt wasn't even in the top 20. A very unfortunate result for him. The championship standings change a lot since the race at Lime Rock. Lucy Barton came in as the leader, retiring with only 3 laps to go, has put a damper on that streak as she falls to 3rd place. Ashley Richardson, who is a part-timer, mind you, jumps all the way to is still in 2nd place actually. She retains the 2nd position. Rebecca Pellerin vaults from 3rd to 1st. Luke Pellerin jumps all the way to 4th. Thomas Tucker is 5th place. Ruby Carson 6th. A very good result for her. She's tied with rookie Blake Chandler. Kirk Jones, former champion, making a championship run once again in 8th place. Becky Murata, fantastic rookie run for the Japanese. The only Japanese driver in North American Auto Club in, I think, the last 15 years, in 9th. And Connie Brooks closes the top 10. The Rookie of the Year standings see a change. Ryan Faulkner could not defend his lead. Blake Chandler steals it from under him. Hibiki Murata and Boyd Abbott join the fight as they vault over the 10-point threshold. Andrew Atwood, Peter Johnson, Charlie Faulkner, Creeper Stevenson, and Tony Hart scored points, but not nearly enough as they needed to join that brawl. So right now, it's a 4-driver battle. Blake Chandler, Ryan Faulkner, Hibiki Murata, and Boyd Abbott for the Rookie of the Year title. Let's see how they keep it going on as the season continues. But as we wrap up here in the New York Autoring, the next race will continue the joint trail between the GripAll Challenge Series and the PCC Cup Series as we head out to Illinois in the Carbondale Raceway for the Errata Cab 125. I'll see you next time.